Good morning, folks. I apologize for the late start. I didn't get down here until a few minutes before I needed to get started and found out there was some issues, always with technology, that's causing things to go a little bit slower. But we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to open in prayer and rock and roll. Father, we honor you. Thank you for the opportunity that we have as day traders. Lord, I just pray that you would give us wisdom in the markets. Father, that you would give us understanding of what we're looking at. And Father, that we would be patient and we would wait for the setups that you bring to us. Father, that we would not be chasers but receivers. So Father, we honor you this morning. I pray for everyone here that they would find increase in what they're doing, increase in their trading in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, folks, let's go ahead and get started. It looks like Northern, you're already marked up. Way to go. I'm going to get my charts here figured out. I will tell you that I'm interested in this 1 minute inversion fair value gap. Two reasons. One, it's the only one here that hasn't been ran. And two, we have data lows. Right there. So if we do get that, that would be nice. We could get a nice little push and drop towards that. Let me see here. Let's see where the market is. The market is up here for our opening range gap. Let's see here. The last thing I want to grab is our new day opening gap, which I believe is right there. I'm trading in Q, the Nasdaq. That's the only thing that I trade, Filmverse. Good morning. Glad that you're here. So the new day opening gap is sitting between the new week opening gap. So that's that. And then I think I'm pretty much set up here. One minute till open. I would like a push initially higher if I'm being completely honest. I'd like that push higher, taking out some of this lower, these relatively equal highs, and then I would like to see us roll over. I think those would be my two interest points. All right, here's our push higher. Through the opening range gap, grabbing some of this low resistance liquidity. We have a 5 minute sitting over here. See if it wants to reach all the way up into that. Sorry, excuse me, that's a 15-minute. Good morning, Eva. How are you doing? Hopefully you had a good Merry Christmas. This is the type of reaction that I was hoping for. If we get a close for this, I'll be looking for runs for this low. But we will be moving our stop to break even when we run this low. If we can get down there. But we will sit and wait. If nothing wants to give it to us, do we have any news today? I mean, based on the candle that happened at 8:30, I'm gonna say we did, and that would have been Thursday. Unemployment claims. There it is. Had unemployment claims at 8:30. And it gave us a nice data low. That's nice. Let's see how far it went. How low it ran. Yep. I'm thinking on the hourly, it looks like a really nice market maker sell model. We're hitting the down close candle right here. Let me get my... All right, good. My micro screen hasn't not been working lately, but it looks like we're all good there. Good morning, MR. Glad to have you this morning. You going to church? We went to church on Christmas Eve. Sang some Christmas songs. My mother actually leads worship at her church. And we were able to listen to some of that. I'm not interested in longs today. Not interested in longs at all. I'm looking down. I'm looking for the sell side. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for sell side opportunities. We do have this fair value gap sitting right here. That I like for a liquidity run down to the data lows. But there may be an opportunity that's closer to where price action actually is to see. But we need to let price work itself out right here. Overlapping price action, nothing here right now. We do got a small 1 minute sitting there. Nothing on the 2 minute anywhere. Nothing on the 3-minute anywhere. Only one is on the 1-minute. And you can see how many times price has respected this level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It has come into this fair value gap. That's why it stands out to me. MG Graham, good morning. J Money, shalom, shalom. Hopefully you had a good Christmas. We did. I had family over here pretty much all day. We watched a little football, read some Bible stories, ate lots of food, and I am gonna go on a sugar-free diet. I'm staying away from sugar. I gotta be done with sugar. Price could want to reach up to here, or it could reach up to the new day opening gap, which is sitting way up here. Both of these spots, I guess, are legitimate areas that it could go to. If we're looking at the 15-minute, we got some swing lows down here, and we have our opening range gap from the new day opening gap sitting right here. So we got this volume imbalance, which is the opening day gap, and it overlaps with these high, low, higher highs. So this makes, honestly, this area right here makes for a logical area in my mind for price to stop and begin to run the other direction. So if that's the case, the only way I would look at taking a long is if we get something like this. Boom, boom, boom. And then inside that, give us some type of fair value gap that we can do an inversion, target a high, run for the highs. That's the only way that I'm going to do something like that. Or I'll just sit here and wait. Do I have any New Year resolutions? Or is that a New Year's resolution? No, it's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. It probably could. It would qualify for sure as a New Year's resolution, but I have already been more conscious of it. I'm already gluten-free. I don't eat anything with gluten in it. My son has had a lot of stomach issues, so it's kind of been more in the forefront that I think I want to just be more intentional on for my family. So it'll be me, but then I'll probably have my son do it as well. I want him to see that, hey, his dad doesn't eat any crap either. Gunberg, done for the day. Just 60K, or not 60K, that'd be nice, 60K. $60 on my 3 PA accounts. Just need one more trade, 3 days to respect my payouts. Way to go. Safety net above 4K. That's great to hear. Congratulations. Yeah, I took that opening trade this morning. I do have all my accounts above the $50 minimum threshold right now. But we're going to sit and be patient, see if the market wants to give us anything for the rest of the day. First thing that I'm going to watch is this order block right here. I want to watch it, not this, but this order block. This down close candle that hit 930 or just stayed above 930, I want to watch, see how price reacts at that level. See if this wants to be what we would call a propulsion block. So now that we did hit that. We tapped it exactly. We'll see if this wants to be aggressive and move higher. It doesn't give us any fair value gaps. And my guess is that 30 seconds is going to be taken away here in a second. But this is a nice 30 second as well. I'm just going to say, and I take that back, this isn't nice because we never hit imbalance or hit liquidity. So if it ran it, I'm not interested in it because we didn't hit liquidity. We stopped right before it. So I'm not going to be interested in that. Now a long may be more interesting. But it's nothing that I really want to take at the moment. I want something more obvious. The market hasn't been very obvious, and that's where a lot of people get hurt. So we're just going to wait. Northern, so here's the thing. We eat baked bread, but in the States, what they do with the bread is very different than what they do in Europe. And I'm told that I could go to Italy and eat bread in Italy, and I would be just fine. And I believe it, but all of the wheat in the United States is dried a certain way to speed up the process, which creates this basically chemical gluten reaction in people's bodies. And so that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. But it's also more than just gluten. It's also sugar. Added sugar affects my body too. I get the same type of reaction with sugar that I get with gluten. This 30-second could play out. That's here. But I'm going to watch it. I wanted this to be a learning lesson for myself to see how price reacts to this, because I think it should continue to go higher. We did hit the midpoint of the opening range gap, so I see that, but we have a 15-minute fair value gap sitting right there. You don't stop before you hit those areas. So even if it worked, I wouldn't want to take it, but my guess is it doesn't work, or it finds support here and moves higher. Sorry if there's some background noise. We have some guests, and I sit above the bathroom that's in our basement. So add some extra little noise going on. This is that 30-second fair value gap that I said I'm not going to take because we didn't hit any 15-minute fair value gap. We probably hit an hourly. Yeah, we hit the hourly, but this is too big of an area. That's not enough for me. I like to, so yes, we hit the hourly. Okay, so did we hit the 30-minute? And the answer is no, we didn't hit the 30-minute. Did we hit the 15-minute? No, we didn't hit the 15-minute. Did we hit a 5-minute? And the answer is no, we didn't hit the 5-minute swing high. So that's why, even though it hit the hourly, it's not of interest to me. The 4-hour did wick into its 4-hour fair value gap down here. And from a daily perspective, we have already ran the previous day high. So will we see price run these lows? I don't think so. I mean, we could, or we could get close to it. I'm going to mark it. So here's our previous day high. Yeah, the previous day high is also sitting right where that breaker is. That looks attractive. It really does. If that doesn't stand out to you guys, I mean, I don't know what else could. It looks really nice. There's overlapping PD arrays. You got previous day high. You got the new week opening gap. You got the new day opening gap, all sitting around this low, which is what we call in PD array language a breaker. So I would like it to get up to here and then move lower. That's what I would be looking for as my trade. Some people could use this as the draw on liquidity and target, try to take a long up to these levels. Either's fine. It's really whatever your flavor is, whatever your style is. I'm more partial probably to the downside than I am to the upside in just my style of trading. I love taking shorts. But to me, this would be the idea. Running for this level in the New York session, and then finding resistance, and then us running the other direction. If you're here for the first time, welcome to this live stream, free live stream. Today is actually, I decided to extend the promo code December 2024 for the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. If you're interested in that, you can go to dtjacademy.com and use the code DEC 2024, and you'll get a discount for the day trading ICT day trading course, as well as the Discord. Quite some reactions that took place right here. That inversion, 30-second inversion, did work. Did sweep. We stopped at 9:30. Based on how aggressive this was, if we're aggressive the other direction, I will take a long. This 30-second or this 1 minute right here, if it can give me an entry, I would be interested in that as well. I'm going to say by the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's going to give it to me. But I like it. I kind of want to be part of this. We've hit the low. I'm looking at data lows at the moment. This could react against me quite a bit, so I'm being careful on this. I'm watching the 1 minute fair value gap that we closed below. If we start moving above that 1 minute fair value gap, I'm going to get out. All right, did close above, so we're going to close that trade. And it probably will continue to run this direction, but it broke my rules, so I got out. I'm not going to take a major loss on that. There it is, folks. Execution, analysis correct, execution poor. Analysis correct, execution poor, unfortunately. That was the level I had on. The first thing I did was mark this level, and I knew that was going to be an important level. We closed below it. Did we close below it? Technically, we did not close below this level. We close above it, and then we close down here, and our short would have been from this point. Our short would have been on this candle. But I got in here before the close. I was presumptive on this attack. And I didn't want it to go all the way up to 930 or even up to this last fair value gap and caused me to be in that much drawdown. That's why I ended up closing the position. Do you use TradingView? And if so, which Nasdaq chart do you use, since all of the ones I see are quite different? Yes, Patrick, very, very important that you use the future contract, the most recent and most current future contract, which in this case, it is NQH 2025. NQH 2025. All right, now that we've ran this low, if we get some nice reaction this way, there could be some opportunities to the long side, because we're not done to the long side, I don't think, unless we're leaving that 15-minute for another day and that previous day high. I mean, those are the obvious areas as of right now. So we ran the obvious low that I wanted to, which was the data low. And we still have the previous day high, which hasn't been tagged yet. That's tagged 50% of the time when we're open inside the range, when we've already ran it in the pre-market. So we ran it in the London session. We've tapped it. We went through it right at the opening price. And when we have this level, 50% of the time it will run it. So, I mean, it's not huge odds. It's 50-50. There's a 2-minute, 3. So, Patrick, hopefully that makes sense. The contract you should be on and everybody else should be this contract right here. That should be your contract. That's what you should be trading on. How many, or who was able to take that short from this inversion that we've been talking about? Did anybody take that? Did anybody capitalize on that? It was a nice trade. This trade would have given approximately 35 handles. About 35 handles that produced. MG, way to go. Congrats. That's great. I mean, the analysis was correct. Execution was poor. Off screen, I did get back into this. When it failed and it started going lower again, I just re-entered my position and I took it to this low. But I did that off screen because I'm not going to re-enter the same trade that I took on screen, got out, and then re-enter it on screen. To me, that's just it. I don't think that's right. I'm not gonna be promoting that in a way or sharing my screen for something like that. If I'm gonna give a trade, I'm gonna do the trade. If it fails, it fails on screen, right? You guys got to see the loss, not the win, unfortunately. At this point, I'm liking the type of reaction we're getting. Fabrice, way to go. I'm glad you got that. It was a nice, obvious trade, but look how close we came to this 15-minute. Now that seems strange, that you would come this close, not fill the imbalance, and then run the other direction. That tells me this is being left for a later time. The question is that later time right now? Based on these reactions, I'm thinking it is now. So I'm looking at this 2-minute right here. We have a 2-minute fair value gap. Yeah. Sure, that's fine. We have this fair value gap right here. Now, the thing we got to be careful about is there is the elements of a breaker sitting right here and in the form of 930 price. So we want to see, we don't want to just be, we really want to wait for a close above this level to run this low resistance liquidity into this 15-minute fair value gap. Now, I took my trade, I got all my loss back and made some. So I'm going to be only paper trading at this point. We are the day after Christmas, and I don't know what price action is going to be the rest of the day. So I have closed my personal funded accounts, and this will only be a demo trade. It will only be a demo trade at this point. But I'm still going to be sitting here doing my analysis, doing my trade analysis, reading order flow, and everything else. And we're going to try to do it in a legit way. We're not going to just be a little looser because we're doing a demo. I'm still going to look at doing this effectively. 930 price does have significance. I want to see how we react around this. But when I look at the 15-minute chart, we've oh, interesting. What is this? No, that's a bullish. That's bearish breaker. We've come into these 15-minute fair value gaps that are sitting down here. Let's look at the hourly too. The hourly was already tagged once. We've come a little bit deeper. What about the 4-hour? 4-hour wicks lower into this as well. All right, so the only thing that looks that was anything of significance to me was this 15-minute right here. We filled that 15-minute completely. So the reason why I have this 2-minute sitting here, it's the obvious fair value gap to the upside. So unless we've had an aggressive move lower, this is displacement. Okay, I can't just assume we're going higher. I need confirmation. This fair value gap broken or inversed is my confirmation. Until then, I'm going to look at this as resistance. I'm looking at this as a potential breaker. I'm looking at this in the form that we could still creep lower. I mean, on a higher time frame, we have in my view, a market maker sell model. Potential market maker sell model. Now, that's very interesting that this 15-minute candle wicked all the way down here, but look where the body closed. When I see large wicks like this, it's basically saying, watch out. Potential bad price action incoming. Or, I mean, look, the body is in line with this whole price action right here. Wicks do the damage. Body's telling me the story that it's still consolidating and creeping up higher. That's what this is telling me. This wick is just manipulation. We capitalized off the manipulation. We sold very quickly. But this would be my indication for a long to the upside. And I will take a demo trade on this, looking for something like this. That's my trade idea at this point. I'll be right back, folks. Oh, we got a minute. I gotta wait. I can't leave yet. I do like this initial reaction on how we went aggressively lower and started moving the other direction right away. I do like that. "45 seconds. We are in the 10 a.m. macro as well. This is the time that price has a better chance of running compared to giving us a fake out. All right. We just do not want it to hit this high before we get in the trade. because this is our break-even point. I'm going to take 2 contracts so I can sell one and I can have a runner. I'll take 3 so I can potentially do 2 runners if it gives us this entry. All right, no entry. That means we need to wait another 2 minutes before we do anything here. If we start selling off, this inversion right here could be an opportunity for a short. I would be less interested in this and treat anything lower as a fake out to continue move higher. But I'll be right back. I'm going to go blow my nose. All right, another 2-minute candle, not closing. So DTJ Academy, use the code December 2024. This will be, I'm extending this until the new year. So new year at midnight, this will expire. For any of you that were wanting to take a look at the day trading course as well as the Purpose Driven Trader Academy Discord, we're currently building that up and building a trader of communities, or a community of traders that have just a biblical worldview. Traders that believe that there's more to trading than just money, but want to have a kingdom impact, want to have an impact around the world, in their life, around other people. Just want to have an impact in the world around them. So you can check that out if you want. But we're really keeping an eye on this right here. I think this is the only thing that looks good so far. Yes, you could take a breaker short, but what I really want to do that after I've ran a data low and we've hit a 15-minute fair value gap. I don't know if I would want to do that. ES did sweep its highs. Looks good. We are in a market maker sell model. I just think you'd want to reach up to this. I like that. Boom. Right there. But we're not going to do anything with it. I've been wrong on those before. Oh my goodness, only 16 likes. Folks, hit the like button if you're appreciating the commentary. if it's been helpful for you. If you enjoyed watching the loss taken on stream. It was poor execution, unfortunately. It happens. Sometimes it just doesn't play the way you want it to play. I'm looking at this down closed candle right here and price wicking up into it and wanting to see a reaction lower. I'm just reading order flow. I want it to go higher. That's where I want it to go. But I'm just watching how price is playing out. It hasn't broken through our 2-minute. It's right around 9:30, right around a breaker. And I'm like, ooh, I like this. It wicked up right into it. I mean, there's reason for we could see lower prices, but I'm gonna wait on that. I'm not feeling the overall direction for that. So I got a couple gifts yesterday. Got a couple gifts for my wife. One for my family. What did I get? I got for Christmas, I received a customized toiletry container. And I love it. You know, it's funny, the older you get, some of the more practical gifts just become really nice. So I got it customized. It has my name on it. It's a leather container for a traveling toiletry container. It's great. And then I got, I started getting into bars of soap. So my wife got me a collection of all these amazingly smelling, manly bars of soap. I got cedar pine. I haven't looked at all of them, but that was the one I got out, and I'm like, I'm gonna use this one next. So I got a collection of different manly smelling bars of soap. And then I got a jacket. I don't know. These are my wife is African. And she goes through she's all into the all natural. So the bars of soap are shea butter, all natural shea butter with a couple other ingredients in them. But she's all about the natural. So that's the direction we kind of lean, is the natural side of. But I honestly really don't care. I just go to the store, go to Target, buy myself the best smelling one, and I'm like, I don't care what's in it. Smells good. But if I give my wife the opportunity to get something for me, she makes sure she makes sure I'm taken care of, and I appreciate that. MG, yes, she is. She's amazing. Couldn't run. My house could not run without her. All right, look, this down close candle stopped right at this fair value gap. We're going to see if it wants to run lower. Upheim, did I say that right? Jaime. She is from West Africa. She's from Benin, West Africa. She's actually, my Christmas present to her was she's actually going to go back home. She hasn't been back home since she's come to America. And so her mother was actually planning on going this January. And so my Christmas present to her, as I told her, she's an ultra planner. You feel me equals you feel me. Okay, thank you. You feel me. So she's an ultra planner. She does not like it. If I just gave her tickets handed her a pair of tickets, she would freak out. So because she would want to pick the best trip, she would want to get the right hour, right times, and I'm not a planner. So I told her, I'm like, honey, I said, my Christmas present to you, I want you to go back home with your mom. So she's going back home. She's not going to we're not going with the whole family. Be honest, financially, it's a pretty penny. I mean, it would easily be probably close to a $15,000 trip. Your wife's from the other side of the world. Well, what side of since you're in the Netherlands, where does that put your wife? Yes, I believe her flight will take her to France. You feel me? Oh, I bet I have no idea. I mean, she has all that figured out. I haven't even looked. I know it's a long flight. New Guinea. Oh, you're in Norway. Yes, Norway. New Guinea. That is. For those for you, like, what are they talking about? We're just passing time because right now the market's not doing anything. I'm not in a trade. I'm personally done on my funded account. I'll be doing a demo trade. The only long I'm willing to take is this one right here. The only other opportunity that I think it's probably a B+ trade is this one right here. This inversion to the downside, if we close below it, we'd want to see price run this low. But there's a real possibility that we close below this and we immediately run the other direction. There's just a real possibility of that happen. That's why it's not as attractive to me. We close below this, stop short of this low, and then we run the other direction. So if we do take this short, we just need to move our stops relatively quickly, because if it's going to close below this, I want to see it run quickly to the low, and if it doesn't, there's a chance it might run the other way. So I'm going to be moving my stop to break even. So these are the two opportunities that I'm willing to take right here. Stop loss is still 20 handles. I mean, that's a huge stop loss. But the target's 37 handles. So if we can get 10 handles out of this, that's not bad. So these are really the only two opportunities I'm looking at here, folks. I don't even know how to say Papua. Is that I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think that's how you say it. I should probably ask Google. Papua New Guinea. Correct. Okay. Yeah, so my wife has been in the States since she was 13 years old, and she's 37 right now. So, a long time. 24 years. She's been in the States, and she's never been back home. The rest of her family has. So I'm like, she needs to go back home. She needs to go back home. She's been wanting to go back home. She really wanted to bring the whole family, but I'm like, go with your mom, get the lay of the land, go visit, so you don't have to worry about your family at all, because none of us would be able to speak French. We don't speak French. And just let her have some fun. So she's going to be gone for 2 weeks here in January. So it is 10:20 right now. The market is kind of in this consolidation right after some aggressive price action. I like this. This is this right here. Okay, folks, we're going to do a quick lesson. This is why, one of the reasons why I'm done for the day, why I closed my funded accounts. Look at this aggressive candle and look at this aggression the other direction. On a good news day with volume, this would probably run for this high. On days like today, what you'll hear traders say is that there just was no follow through. Meaning, it seemed like it wanted to run, but then it just stopped and did this. It consolidated. It was aggressive, then stopped and consolidated. No follow through. And this is what you have to be careful of, is the no follow through portion of trading. And trading days like the day after Christmas or the day before Christmas, is those days can be very poor in price action. What we wait for is our signature and price, and then be really patient because it could consolidate in the middle of our trade. Or you just take your 10, 15 handles, get out, and just call it a day on days like these. Yeah, they probably are still on holiday. But I'm liking this 2-minute that I want to see break. We will take this and we will manage this trade as a real trade. But I just want to be clear that this is a demo trade that I will be taking. The 15-minute candles are all in line here. Nothing weird. We just have this big wick with the close here. All right, 47 seconds. If we get down to 15 seconds and we start pumping, I will get in before the close. But it needs to be close to the before the time, before the candle closes. So like now, I'd be okay with it. If we start pumping, I would be interested in taking it. But right now, we're just sitting right there, so I'll wait for the close. All right, there's the close. There's our entry. Stop to break even is going to be at this candle swing high. Right there. We will also take one contract off there, so we can take some profit. So that would I don't want to do that. I don't know how many contracts that is. Yeah, that's over 10 handles. We will do that. This is a good spot for one contract. We'll see. You could do all of it. You could be out of this trade right now. I mean, it's given us 10 handles. So days like these are important just to understand that even if it doesn't hit your target, take profit. Just take profit on days like these because it may not follow through. We will look for this high as our target. Right inside the 15-minute fair value gap. but I've already verbalized that if you're in this trade with a real account, I would have taken profit at 10 handles. But I'm going to be since there's literally no emotion on my part, I'm going to do this based on my rules that I would be trading on a normal day. And that would be first profit would be taken at the swing high, and when that happens, stop loss would be moved to break even. The reason why we want to take profit at this point right here is that this is a swing high. It's an internal swing high, but the market can reverse from these swing high points. And so we want to take profit at those points in case the market does want to roll over. That's why we do that. Just being patient, letting the trade play out as my rules are. I probably will have another runner for higher. Oh, come on. Tag that. All right, I'm going to move that there and take profit because it tagged me. And I wanted to make sure, especially when when it makes equal highs or it tags me that close, I'm not going to be I'm going to move my target down and I'm going to take it. I'm not going to let it do what this candle is about to do before I take profit. This is why we ran this swing high and look at the reaction we have. This is why, folks, this is why we take profit, and technically we would be out of this trade right now because we would have moved our stop to break even. Our stop would be at break even and we would be out of this trade. Okay, I'm going to give it a second and see if this wants to continue higher. There's been many trades where I've moved my stop to break even. It comes back, tags this level, and continues higher. I'm going to see if it wants to continue higher. If we are going to stay around this level, then I'll get out. But I want to see if it was just a quick reaction lower before we move higher. But this is one of the reasons why we always take profit at these levels, because we get candles like this that may continue to follow through lower, and nobody wants that. So if we can make through a new high right here, I'll move my stop to break even. I want this candle to close, and I want this to turn into an order block. When this turns into an order block, I will move my stop to break even. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new sell order right there, and I'm going to move this higher. We're going to go to the new week opening gap. I felt that we could reach that high. I told you that this was the breaker on the 15-minute fair value gap, and it's also the new week and new day opening gap. So there's a lot of reasons why I think it could go here. But it doesn't have to go there for us to make money. So Blake, so I apologize if my code, do I have a code on here? It doesn't look like I do. They did. I believe everything is 50% off right now. But my guess is at the new year, here within the week, they'll do a promotion for 80% off. So if you want the most updated code, if you use DTJ, Blake, if you do use DTJ, it will always, always, always give you the most updated discount that Apex is offering. They change it, and they just use all of the discount codes that people give or whatever. They're all within that same system. So not one discount code will give you a better discount somewhere else. They're all the same. And so you can use DTJ, and it will always give you the updated discount. So this candle closed green, which is nice, but I don't like that it closed with not making a higher high. So it would not be a bad idea just to put our stop right below this candle here, because we understand that that was an aggressive move lower. So if it's going to stop us out, this is where it would be. But until then, we're going to allow this trade, see if we can get to this high and this 15-minute fair value gap. So the other day, I mentioned that I said we could see price move up to a specific level, and it literally took all day for it to get there, but it didn't. And that's what I'm expecting a trade like this could be. I'm not sure I want to sit and wait for price to get all the way up here. It could take all day. It literally could take all day. We're going to see if it wants to be aggressive and do that quickly this morning. Honestly, it would make more sense for it to not hit this level right away and take all day, because that would still be, it would still create the narrative for a market maker sell model, which would make Friday or Monday of next week a nice sell-off day. So we'll see what price wants to do here, but 15-minute, like I mentioned, is where I expected price to hit. And because we didn't hit it here, I didn't feel like we were going to go short. Yes, I took this short here because we had the data lows, but that's all we did, and we start moving higher. Because, look, this candle didn't hit the 15-minute fair value gap. This gave me a signal. It's like, holy crap. All right, we're going to be aggressive. I'm going to play this inside play right here for the data lows, but because we didn't hit this 15-minute fair value gap, I think everything else to the downside is a fake out. Why would you stop below here? No, we're going to run into this at some point. The question is, how long is it going to take for us to get there? I don't know. Way to go, Northern. Closing green. Now, for those of you watching me and going like, man, what? It probably feels horrible that this trade's working out and he's taking it on a demo account. I don't. I've learned just to be okay with being done for the day. And I will take a trade and not make any money on it. I do. For the most part. Some Tuesdays, there are Tuesdays that I won't be able to do it, but I usually Monday through Friday. 9:15 New York Standard Time is when I'll be on. I don't like how we're kind of creating a swing high here. But that means we might get a retracement, which could stop us out. Maybe coming to this order block and then moving higher. Does that make sense? So if you are in a trade, I would probably take more size off right here. Because this is showing me that we could do something like this. Come a little bit lower into this order block right here and then move higher. That's what I'm thinking potentially could happen based on just how lethargic price action is right here. But I'm going to hold it because there's zero emotions in this trade for me. And it teaches me to find out, okay, that's what I think's going to happen. Does it actually happen or not? And it's building chart history. I'm building history in front of the charts, and managing my trades to see if I'm being more effective or how I can be more effective. So I'm just following the rules. I'm following my rules. And I took profit here. I'm waiting for a higher price here. If anything, you should move your stop to break even. 100%. I would not have a stop below break even at this point, especially when you have been up 20 handles. But I'm going to let this play out and to see, based on where I put my stop, does it make sense that I put my stop there? To be honest, it makes sense for it to grab my stop and then move higher because of where this order block is. This order block here, if it wants to come to the body, it's going to come all the way there to this bullish order block. It could stop at the wick of this order block candle. It could go just to this wick, which is right above here. If it does that, then I should be good. But we'll see. But right now, all this, everything that we're doing is trade management. This is how you manage a trade. You go through all these scenarios, looking at what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Is it allowable? Is it not allowable? Should I be concerned or not? And right now, everything looks okay. And we could even look at this as an order block right here. So see how price came down into that order block, this down close candle, order block, and now we're seeing expansion higher. So that's really nice. That's great reaction to this level. So even though my eyes were at this order block, I didn't see this order block when I was talking about it. But now that I'm paying attention to this order block on where it turned, this is a more significant order block because how the size of it, and it's engulfing this order block here. So it looks like we're going to hit that target. That will sell one more of our 3 contracts. And then we're going to hold one final contract up to the previous day high. And honestly, we really should move this a little bit higher. Because if the swing high is right here and we're so close to it, when it comes into this 15-minute, it's going to give us a little bit of a push. So we don't have to be right at that high. We still haven't got it. But when we get this high, we will push into this 15-minute a little bit. So you can give yourself a little more room for this target. Or you go, I'm not going to be a dick for a tick. Honestly, I don't know what other way to say that because it rhymes. If you can give me something else, I'll say something else. I'm not necessarily a fan of saying that, but that it gets the point across. I don't want to be so stubborn that it has to give me, another 3 points before I take my profits. All right, so see this? Now watch it expand right here. We should get a little expansion. If we don't, I'll be surprised. We swept that high. We came into the 15-minute. Is that the first time we entered the 15-minute? It is. Probably smart to take profit there. But we'll see. I want to see this expand a little bit more. I think it will. A D for a T. I mean, that works. Or I could say a prick for a tick. All right, see, this is what happens. After you hit a level, you're going to get a retracement. Everybody thinks it's going the other way. But then it just creates an order block here, and it may expand higher here. If it continues to go lower, then I missed my opportunity to sell. But hopefully you sold. If you're following this trade and you have an extra contract, I would have sold one up here. But because this is a demo trade, I'm kind of stretching some of the things that I normally would do to really see if I can build that confidence to let the trades play out. In this case, I've seen so many times where I put my target right at these highs, it grabs it, and then it just explodes another 20 handles. And I'm like, man, that would have been nice to grab some of that. It would have been nice to be a part of that, but I took my target right at the high and it just blew right through it. So this is why, one of the reasons why I just moved it a little bit higher, because I know that's happened to me in the past and I want to just see if it wants to do that. In this case, it's an epic fail. In this case, it's an epic fail on this one. And it doesn't surprise me considering the day that we're on. Not at all. But we'll see what price wants to do here. We're going to keep our stop where it is. If we can survive this this push lower, we'll move our stop up. It doesn't look favorable. I'm looking at this fair value gap thinking we could probably reach down into this fair value gap. That's kind of what I'm looking at. It wouldn't surprise me if we come into this fair value gap, stop us out, and then move higher. I'm not going to move my stop just for the rules of not moving my stop. If we survive this and we can close above this, then we'll move our stop up to break even because that will be a pretty safe low. High, low, higher, high right here, breaker. We did sweep this high. This would be a potential place for a breaker to the downside right there. But I think we have higher targets that would make this a trade you wouldn't want to take unless you just want to take a 10-handle move. I don't see this breaker running all the way to the lows. But this breaker could absolutely stop us out. Does that make sense? It could be a breaker where it could stop us out, come into this fair value gap, and then refuse to move lower. But I don't see this being a breaker right here that's going to run these lows. Closed right at the breaker. I really would have loved to see us run above it. At this point, what we're looking for is this fair value gap to be inversed right now. If we can close above this inversion fair value gap right here, we're set. We're set. But that's what we want to see it close above. But we got to wait a minute and a half for that. And because of how it closed right on the breaker, it wouldn't surprise me for a push lower here. But I'm going to keep everything the same. Hopefully, all live accounts should be closed right now. You should not be in a live trade trying to take a long on this. You should be closed on a funded account. There should be no live positions going long. Yeah, so there's the stop. Now, let's continue to watch this and see if it stops at this OB and this fair value gap, because this is where I think if it was going to still move higher, this is where it would happen. We just did an institutional order flow entry drill into this fair value gap. I want to see a nice reaction higher. I want to see it close green. If we can close green, this will continue to move higher. This is honestly another trade right here. That's another trade idea if we can close above it. So we didn't get the green close, so not as aggressive as I wanted it to be. But you can tell that the breaker still could play out to the downside, but we did already tap into this fair value gap. So I'm just watching to see how supportive this fair value gap wants to be. So if you appreciate the commentary on everything that I'm teaching here, I have all of this organized and laid out for anybody that's a part of the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. In the chat, you will find a discount code that will give you $100 off on the course as well as the trading Discord community. So you can check that out. I think I have some guests here. Yeah. I'm going to have to let them in here in a second. I need to let my somebody know. Hang on. Okay, folks, I'm gonna probably have to leave here shortly. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, we have a family friend that's here to visit somebody, and she can't come down for another 15 minutes. So I don't want my guests to sit in my living room by themselves. So I think what we'll do, folks, we're going to be done for today. I think this is, for me, I'm going to be done for today, but this would be a long right here. Okay, that's the only thing I'd be looking for, seeing if we can reach up to this high. If we fail and we want to roll over because of this breaker, I would not be going short unless we close below this. If it runs this low right here, if it runs this low right here, I wouldn't care, because it could still run higher because it's inside of this price leg, okay? So the only way that I would be looking to go short is this area down here. Okay, so those would be my two scenarios that I'd be looking for. Usually it's $300. So it's $100 off, Antonio. So $200, $199 is what it is. But you can find that right here. So that's the code. And you can, it's down in the description. DTJ Academy is where you can find it. So check that out, folks. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Reach out to me on X. I'm on X every single day. I'm on X, so find me there. A couple of you have. I've had a couple decent conversations with a couple people there. But feel free to reach out to me there, guys. Other than that, God bless. Hopefully you had a fantastic Christmas. Looking forward to a new year. We'll be back here tomorrow for another live stream. So take care. We'll talk to you guys soon. God bless.